a beautiful, bright, sunny day. Weather should not be an option. Ah, well, it says I'm connecting. Let's find out. I think I got my sound on. All the little things you got to check. There's 2 out of 3. How y'all doing, baby? We're waiting to see who comes in the room. This is live today because my day got carried away, baby. It's a Friday. Didn't get everything done I wanted to, but it got enough done. But I was late getting back home, and so hence I ain't got time to record a video, and then to make it over to the Robin Kincaid show over there in a little while. I promised Mom I'd be by, and I'm gonna go join them. Anyway, Tracy Tobias just joined us on on YouTube, and Gene Shanky just joined us on Facebook. So I know we're connected up, baby. Indeed. And Debbie Marie, Dizzy Duke, and Dwayne Twizzle just jumped in too. How y'all doing, baby? It's Friday. It's Friday. It's a beautiful day down here in South Texas. Muy caliente estos días, mucho trabajo. It'll wear you out, baby. It's pretty hot. But anyway, Valerie Wood Rosado, how are you, darling? Meg Wet Willie, Nancy Halverson just jumped in. That's right, Gene, a busy man. As always, baby, every time I knock something off the list, somebody adds something onto the list. The list is a continuous thing. Anyway, Greg Talbert, how you doing, brother? Wearing my N95 and being safe. Good deal, buddy. Be exactly that. It is Beer and Bud Friday, so let's get the formalities out of the way. Get your ice-cold cerveza, and use my beard opener. Right out of the freezer. Called Mom and said, put that beer in the freezer for me for a little while. Let it get good and cold. Oh, perfect. Anyway, y'all know the rules. It's Beer and Bud Friday. So put the bud in the bowl, baby, and fire it up. CBD. That's right, baby. CBD. Legal here. Anyway, medical marijuana became legal here in Texas, I believe. I'm checking that shit out. But anyway, it's time to kick back and try to relax and enjoy our weekend. Try to, anyway. There's a lot of places in our country. It is not going to be easy to have a good weekend no matter what. No power, no gas, no food in a lot of places. People are suffering the heartbreak of loss. For a lot of people in our country, this is not going to be a good weekend, baby. So keep them in your heart. Keep them in your mind. Provide help if you can, where you can. And just remember that we're all in this boat together, baby, and we got to reach out and help each other when we can. Anyway, I wish that sentiment was all over our country, but it's not. You know, before I get to my main subject matter here, I just want to point out that there's a story right over here that says Trump administration deliberately slowed entry of Afghan allies. Really? We kind of knew this, but now it's kind of coming out in the news as official. In one meeting, Stephen Miller warned of Iraq's and stands if allies and other refugees were brought into the United States. Stands, you know, like Uzbekistan or Afghanistan or any country that ends in stand because he's a racist, bigoted asshole, and that's who the last administration was full of, those people. Yeah. Well, they came out with the report there that indeed that the Trump administration, that Donnie the Dick, was trying to hold back on the Afghans that were helping us, the V1S, the VIS visas for those people that were helping us, and they put a slow walk on all the shit. And now they scream about Biden. After I have another sip of beer and we get done talking. I really enjoy myself over there. It's a great group of people. Anyway, that's stuff we knew. We expected that out of them because we knew who they were the minute Donnie came down, long before he came down the escalator. But when he was president, we knew he was a bigoted, racist asshole, and he didn't give a shit about anything but money, and he's still that way. So anyway, that's not what my main concern is today. Texas seems to be in the news, baby. We've been in the news a lot. Lone Star State, the friendly state, come on. Yeah, that's not the image they're projecting nowadays. Since the Supreme Court ruled in a 5-4 decision not to accept the case and allow Texas's abortion law to stand, which means they could come back and visit it later and do something, but they didn't do anything now. So that's the law. It's going to be challenged because Roe v. Wade in 1973, when Roe v. Wade was established, the court put viability at 24 weeks. And now Texas has lowered that to 6 weeks before most women even know they're pregnant. It is now one of the most restrictive abortion laws in the world. Not in the country, baby. In the world. And anytime that comes up, and it has before, I always throw this little caveat in because I just find it amusing to myself that all these religious right-wing nut jobs who scream about the abortion issue and are willing to persecute people in this country, they can't wait to get over and visit the Holy Land over in Israel, Go over there and see where Jesus was nailed up and all that stuff. See the Mount, all that. Israel has one of the most liberal abortion laws in the world. Yeah, something tells me y'all just willing to ditch your religion over there, but not here. Why don't I ever see any of these right-wing nut jobs picketing in front of the Israeli embassy here in the United States, protesting their liberal stance on abortion issues, because Jesus, because of the babies, because of the life they don't give a shit after that baby is born. They could give two craps about it. Any kind of social help to lift that baby up, to educate that baby or anything? No, baby. We're going to leave that to the, capitalistic system here, Make it if you can. Anyway, I wanted to point out, let me put this down so I can concentrate here, because I want to explain this law here in Texas and what they did and how they did it. Because I just said, Roe v. Wade established viability at 24 weeks. This law could be challenged. It could be, some citizen could sue the state of Texas for violating their right under Roe v. Wade. Come on now. This is the Republican Party we're talking about. In Texas, you don't get no more redneck Republican right-wing nut jobs than we got in Greg Abbott and all the rest of this bunch here in Texas. Here's what they did. They made the law. No abortions after 6 weeks, baby. So you can call the sheriff down there and have that woman arrested. No, you can't. Because the sheriff's not going to come. And neither is any other state official. This is not a criminal charge, baby. The law says you can't have an abortion. But we're not going to come down and enforce the law because, we'll get our ass sued. And indeed they would. So this law that passed in Texas and Greg Abbott signed, there's no enforcement to the law. It makes it illegal, but there is no state official, no sheriff, no deputy, no nothing, gonna come arrest anybody. What they did is used sovereign immunity. Sovereign immunity is what gives a state immunity from being sued for doing something in the process of their duties. Cops use it all the time when they shoot people. Hey, I was doing my job. Boom, had to shoot him. Sovereign immunity has an exception that an official can be sued if he violates law. So if a state official goes out there, robs a bank, you bet, or does something to a citizen, he can be sued. if he's acting for the state. So the state said, no, there's no enforcement to this law, but what we're going to do, and you've heard this in the news, is we're going to deputize citizens that they can sue anybody involved in that process to perform an abortion after 6 weeks. And they mean anybody. You've heard them talking on TV about if an Uber driver takes a woman to a clinic, yes, he can be sued. Anybody giving advice about it. Anybody donating to it to help you with the financial difficulties can be sued by anybody. Any citizen. Just not a state official. That's how they're doing this. They're turning citizens into spies, baby, for 10 grand, man. That's a civil payout of $10,000. If you can go to court and prove that this Uber driver right here drove that woman straight up there to the abortion clinic and she got an abortion. Now, how you go about proving that without sticking your nose up somebody's ass, I don't know. But there you are, driving that Uber into that clinic, baby. You've broken the law. You broke the law. These people have the right to sue you and get $10,000 judgment against your ass because you broke the law. But the police are not going to come arrest you. There's no state official, no organization in Texas here, no governmental body. Child welfare, nothing like that. If it's state-oriented, no dice, baby. Hands off. We're not going to do anything. We're going to leave it to the people to persecute any woman who attempts to do this. They started a new website, prolifewhistleblower.com. prolifewhistleblower.com, where a citizen, such as yourself, can go to that website, prolifewhistleblower.com, and provide information on what you suspect to be the process of maybe an abortion. Because how are you going to know unless you really go snooping up your neighbor's ass? Oh, Susie's pregnant. I think she got pregnant last Tuesday night, and she's up there seeing a doctor. I'm going to sue her. That cab driver. You don't think there's people in this country that'll do exactly that? Oh, hell yes, there are. So it's a very cynical way that Texas has approached this problem. They want to impose a law, but they don't want any liability for violating somebody's rights. Screw your rights. It's the state's right. Sovereign immunity. Hey, we can't do anything here because, it's bullshit. Citizens and the spies. How long do you think Anne Frank would have lasted with people like this? They're asking citizens to spy on their neighbors. Ain't that what they do in communist Russia and all them other countries over there? That's what I hear on right-wing radio nut jobs. All the commies over there and the Russians and all that, they monitor the citizens, they hear what they're saying, and they spy on their neighbors and they turn them in. Well, guess what, baby? The Republicans would be very happy with that because it would be their base that is turning in all you libtards out there, and that way they can reduce the voter rolls, because we want the quality of the vote, not the quantity of the vote down here in Texas. It's all about, well, are you qualified to vote? Do you have the brains, to be able to pick a case? Shit. Jim Crow, baby. Welcome to Texas. We got the abortion issue. Gun rights, that's right. Constitutional carry, strap on a gun, go anywhere you want here in Texas, baby. It's your right. What could go wrong? What could go wrong just because gun deaths this year, in this period, from January to September, is up 14% from last year's in the same time period. So the answer to the problem is definitely get more guns on the street, which is exactly what Texas is doing. Limiting voter registrations, you bet your ass we're going to make it difficult for you to vote down here. That way we can keep all the Republicans in office. We'll gerrymander the districts out the ass, Democracy has a hard time living down here in Texas. But people like me and others, many, many others, we fight all the time to try to keep the Democratic voice alive down here. Because we are not these right-wing nut jobs that have taken over my state. This, again, is a result of the gerrymandering decades ago, and we haven't had a Democrat since because they lie, they cheat, and they steal. And then they make laws to, empower a citizen to do the godly thing and turn in your neighbor. You bet your ass. Go to jail? No. But we'll give you some money for outing them, for humiliating them, for putting them through hell. We'll reward you for that. Because, Jesus. It pisses me off. But you can buy beer on Sunday, too, here in Texas now. Yeah, don't have to wait till noon now. Damn right, baby. Because, Jesus. Used to be you could buy beer until afternoon on Sunday maybe because your ass is supposed to be in church. Praying about abortion. They got rid of that because Bubba likes to have his beer. And, sometimes he don't go to church. Sometimes he does. And sometimes when he does, he sneaks out a little early. And Bubba wants his ass beer. He doesn't give a shit what Jesus says about anything else. Beer, okay. Abortion, no. Guns, yeah. Vote, no. That's what my state looks like now. Somebody said, John, move away. Get away from Texas. I don't give up on fights, baby. I hold on to them to the bitter end. It's the only thing you can do to save your ass, really. If you let it go by, well, shit, it just spreads. If you let somebody get away with something, pretty soon they think, well, they're entitled to that shit. If you let somebody control the women's rights here in Texas, pretty soon, all over the country, baby. Yeah, we got the right too. We'll do that too. We're not going to enforce the law. We're just going to have our citizens do it. Nothing like tying up the courts with a bunch of bullshit. It's disgusting. It's the only way you can talk about it. It is utterly disgusting to watch my state slide into a slimy pit of guns and right-wing nut jobs and against voting or not giving a woman her rights. I saw a meme. The new Dallas Cowboy, Tammy Ames, I think, sent it to me. Nana Lovely, thank you. It had to be you. New Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders in uniforms, and they were like the Handmaid's Tale, except red, instead of red, they were blue coats, and they had little stars on their little white hats up there. It'll be the way it is. Not only that, you don't think we're serious down here in Texas? We also passed a law on September 1st that says if any football game or sports, I don't give a shit what it is, ballet concert, whatever the fuck it is that you're doing here in Texas, and you're doing it in a building or facility that receives some sort of state funding, whether it be a school, a municipality, an auditorium, whatever it is, you will play the Star-Spangled Banner before your event, or you will lose your funding in this state. That's right, baby. You either play the Star-Spangled Banner, or we're going to take away your money. Now, I love Star-Spangled Banner. It's my nation's anthem. We need to live up to what it implies. But forced patriotism, I don't think so, baby. You will listen. You will spy on your neighbor. What kind of shit is this? You want to know where your freedoms are going, baby? You want to know? Democracy dies a slow death behind closed doors if you don't stand up and speak, if you don't use your voice, if you don't use your vote, if you don't pay attention to this country, we lose our rights. All the freedoms that they're screaming about, they don't give a shit about them. They just like to scream the word freedom. But we have to understand what that means. And we have to understand that fighting for each other is the same as fighting for yourself. If we don't stand together, e pluribus unum, out of many, one, then yeah, our great experiment is destined to fall. And the Republicans right now are doing their damnedest to do just that. Hell, they're even over there screaming about how great the Taliban are. Mm-hmm. They're two-faced lying assholes. The Trump department tried to stop any of them from coming into this country because they're brown. They don't want any more brown people over here. And now they scream about how Joe Biden left them behind. I've told you all before, Republicans are willing to hurt this country. Like Buddy Davis said the other day, the Republicans suffer from Munchausen. They're willing to hurt us so they can get attention. They're willing to let people die in this country with anti-vax and anti-mask shit going on so they can get sympathy. So look, vote for us. We're trying to stand up for your freedom. They block initiatives that would help us. Obviously, in a time when we can see our infrastructure crumbling all around us, around storms and floods and fires. But we can't get that done. We can't get it through. Because, oh my God, it's too much money. Really? Really? Freaking West Virginia Manchin? Joe Manchin? I bet he doesn't blink twice when the Defense Department shoots up that $800 billion bill up there. Let's go, baby. Let's spend some money. Let's buy some rockets. That's good. Spending it on the infrastructure, helping the American people, I don't know. It's just too much money. We better pause this shit. Joe Manchin can kiss my ass, not right, not left, but down in the center, baby. People like him play the game. Christian Sinema down in Arizona, same way. She's playing around with Republicans. They come from Republican states, but they're Democrats. Well, we better not cross the line because they're cowards. And they're not willing to stand up and fight. So that's how come I stay here. That's how come we all have to stay involved in this. Is because we have to stand up and fight, baby. Because it is worth it. Anyway. Hi, Bernadette. How you doing? John Winslow, Media Main 6. Thank you for being here. Cassie Hicks, well, it's time to cut out sex for all males in Texas then. Well, chastity belt? Yeah, well, whatever works. Somebody set a ban on Texas. I'm all for it. You should. There shouldn't be any major business down here having their grand poobahs party down here in Texas. Take it to another state. Don't give them it. Don't give it to them. Try to let them know that this is not acceptable. Not in our society. Texas might do it, but all the other states have to stand up and say, no, you're being an asshole, buddy. And they don't enforce the law. Think about that. They made a law, but then refused to allow, or not refuse to allow, prohibit any state official from taking any action against anybody that gets an abortion after 6 weeks. But it's against the law. We're just not going to do anything about it. We're going to let old Betty Lou down the street, who thumps that Bible every day, she going to get your asses. She got a friend, and they all going to meet at church over there, and they all going to file a lawsuit. We stand up for one another, or we all fall at one point. So we need to stand up for the women's rights in Texas, for the voting rights across this country, for civil rights all around this world. We have to be involved in those fights, baby, because that's what we're about. It's everything from maskers to anti-vaxxers to conspiracy theorists to just plain old homophobes or whatever it is. We have to keep battling that shit because we don't want it in our society. And the only way to keep that up is to stay in the fight. Anyway, yeah, boycott Florida too if you have to, Bernadette says. Yeah, but this winter when Texas had the deep freeze, they will be crying for federal boycott. Yeah, federal bailout. You bet your ass. Yeah, we ain't fixed nothing yet either. Nothing's been upgraded yet since that freeze. So yeah, we could lose power again this year. And a lot of storms, and winter storms included, are going to get worse, baby. They're talking about it on the news again. Like all my life, I've always heard, from the time I was young, back during the days of acid rain before the EPA, They used to talk about the air quality in other countries. Look, you can't even see the buildings. We've gone so far, but now we've just decided, well, what the fuck? We can't do that, baby. The problems are getting worse, and the disasters will get worse. And if we don't have the infrastructure and the systems to stand up and help the citizens of this country when they need it the most, then what the hell is government for? Surely not to just fight wars. We got something better to do than just that shit. We could lift so many out of poverty. We could home the homeless. We could feed the hungry. There's so many things we could do. But we're not doing them, and we have to. Anyway, that's about all I got. I'm gonna hang up here, and then I'm gonna go see Mama for a minute, and then I'm gonna jump into the front porch with Sparky and Robin Kincaid and all the gang over there. Have a little visit with them, and I'll continue my official duties. Where's my official duty? That's right. Look it up in Leviticus. It's there. We celebrate this day a little bit, but always remember that there are people suffering in our nation. Keep them in your heart, and try to lift them up if you can. Yes, prosecute the fathers of those babies. Good idea. You know what's good for the goose, good for the gander. You know, all that kind of shit. Hell yeah. Track down the father of that kid and sue his ass for that's a damn good idea when you start running that through your head. Hell yes, they could do a DNA sample on the baby, confirm who's the daddy. He's the one that sent the woman to the abortion clinic. Sue his ass off. Oh yeah, I could see how that would work. Anyway, Women's March on October 2nd. I think it's said across the nation. That's what we need, baby. That is the kind of activity. Let me back that up. October 2nd. Micah Cruz says. So, yeah, check that out. It needs to happen. Need to march on Austin, Texas, and protest like hell there. Anyway, I love y'all for being here. Thank you for being a member of this family. We'll be back here Sunday for another Blue Dot family meeting. So please come by and join us, join the conversation. And I that's right. Child support starts at conception. That's right. Sounds like a good deal to me. I am proud of mine. Yep, that's right, baby. It's a one-sided deal. Anyway, I love y'all. Y'all take care of yourself. And